Everybody, and welcome back to the Furtalk, where we talk about the weird and creepy to the cute and cuddly. I'm Cy Aeromet, and today I'm joined again by Squid, and I'm proud to introduce for the first time my co-host
Squid.
Oh, sorry.
Not squid.
not Squid. No, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Toboy Tala. I've been in the fandom forever.
Yeah?
Forever.
Forever.
There was never a time where you weren't.
There was never, even as a baby, I was like, I'm a furry. I'm
Oh,
dedicated.
you just found yourself naturally attracted to Nala from The Lion King when you were like 3.
Yep, I knew it from then on.
Not even 3, like embryo.
I was in the womb when
Yeah.
I discovered my furriness.
You're like, God damn, she's hot.
And then when you come out, you're singing, "It's the circle of life that moves us all." Ah, you want a pizza? Me and a bar. So,
Yeah.
we are actually going to be talking about a topic today of subgenres, stuff that is in the fandom and could be still included in the fur fandom. But first, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself, Tobo.
Well, I got into the fandom when I was about 13. I created my Fursona when I was about 12.
And what is your Fursona?
My Fursona is a red wolf.
Oh?
Yep.
Is it
with-
special?
It doesn't have any special backstory or life, but I just describe it as me.
No, that's one way to actually put a lot of it into the fur fandom. It's just you.
So
Yep.
the fur fandom is essentially just you as an animal.
Yeah, we discussed that in the last 2 episodes. Weren't you paying attention?
Fuck no, I was too busy focusing on dragons fucking cars.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
So does the furry fandom count where Batman gets struck pregnant and Sonic is like the baby? Is that like a part of it?
I mean,
That
there's
could definitely be a part of it somewhere. I mean, there is the rule that there is porn of everything.
Rule
That is
34,
Rule
the rule
34.
that I follow religiously. If it exists, there's porn of it.
So what's a subgenre exactly?
Tobo?
Well, a subgenre could be described as a smaller bit of a bigger picture,
Right.
if that
That's-
makes sense.
Yeah, like
That's
a
good
puzzle.
way- That's a
Yeah,
good
like
way
a
to put
puzzle.
it.
Yeah. It's a big puzzle, and then you got the one little piece, and that's the subgenre, and that forms a bigger picture, which is the furry fandom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watch movies.
I work out.
It shows.
I work out and do drugs. I know what I'm talking about. So what it is in the furry fandom, there's a lot of like different subgenres. One of them I know is baby fur,
Yes, and
And-
we've covered that a little bit in
Yes.
the second episode.
and I also know vor,
Yes.
I believe. But there's deeper.
There's
There's deeper. What's the weirdest subgenre?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know about subgenres, but I know about personal stories.
Like what?
As my spare time as a professional dominatrix, I've had some weird messages.
You were a
sent to me.
professional dominatrix. I
I
already
still
knew
am.
this, but just for the sake of like being shocked and surprised on it,
This
I'm
isn't
just...
surprising,
I
which is why I'm not
am. I
talking.
am.
So you are still a professional dominatrix.
I am. I do it in my spare time, just as a hobby.
It's actually a really neat thing that she does.
Do you like beg for money?
No.
No,
Oh,
That's-
that'd be
I mean,
fun.
I demand money if that counts.
Like online or just like with people?
It's a little bit of both. I get people that do come online, and then I get people that approach me online, but then like they're actually very serious, and then we'll meet for coffee or something and discuss it there.
Will you step on somebody's testicles?
See, I was just about to ask that, actually.
Have I or will I?
Both.
Have I? No, I have not done any CBT torture yet.
Will you step on his testicles?
I mean,
Not
he
mine. I
really
mean-
wants me to.
no, not particularly. I like my testicles, thank you.
I'm open for discussion.
As
So-
long as Squid is open.
I'm always open. But so subgenres. I know we got off track. But
Yeah, a
that's
little
okay.
bit. So, I would have to say a good subgenre to actually talk about is the Pokemon fandom.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good start, definitely. It's a huge part of the fandom.
it is, actually.
So
yeah.
it doesn't even count towards mystical. I mean, I've already know that essentially is that it doesn't always just count towards regular actual animals. It's essentially anything that is animalistic.
Yeah,
Essentially,
pretty much.
yeah. But even in the non-animalistic way, I think that the furries are pretty open to anything, as you wanted to talk about the brave little toaster.
God
Yeah.
damn, I was just getting into that, and that was going to be the ending where I was like, look, guys, we're going to talk about my favorite subgenre, the brave little toaster.
I don't, that's not even a subgenre. That's just a movie.
It's my subgenre.
Okay.
Well, I looked it up on E621, and it is not a subgenre.
No, it's not.
There's a
but-
subgenre category. Like, there's... Well, I mean, obviously, like, there's porn subgenres.
There's
so.
there's,
Yeah, there
there's
is.
porn
Yeah.
subgenres. One of the more disturbing ones that we looked up recently, unfortunately, was Rugrats, and I don't even want to get into that.
There's a furry Rugrat?
no,
they weren't
it's,
furries. They were just the Rugrats in weird situations.
Yeah, Spike the dog and Reptar are more of in that category, and
Yeah,
honestly,
definitely.
Reptar, that sexy motherfucker.
I have his
that
little
sexy
Funko
green
Pop.
lizard.
God damn, he can halt me all day.
So
There's a kinky thing that I could have thought of, but
So, with the Pokemon subgenre, I actually kind of like my favorite ones that I've actually seen is Lucario and Arcanine. A lot of
Yeah.
people get creative with Lucario and Arcanine. Some of them like make them have different designs, different markings, stuff like that. Yeah, and then you have Gardevoir, which is basically the waifu. Of
how
the
is that?
Pokemon
Is she a
world.
furry? Like, I never understood that.
I guess she's a furry because she is an anthropomorphic being, even if you wouldn't really call her an animal. She's the cuddle Pokemon or something.
She's something like that, but I mean, take a look at Mr. Mime and Jinx. I mean,
God,
that's
that
like
Mr.
that's the husbando and the waifu of the Generation 1.
God damn! Look at that fucking sexy Mr. Mime,
And
just staring at you. He
Did-
wants. You know for a fact that if Mr. Mime, that guy, he knows how to do some things in the bedroom.
he's
Oh yeah, he's looking at you with
he-
them bedroom eyes.
he's just a
He is.
Pokemon. He's just a guy that thinks he's a Pokemon, and then he just for some reason bred.
Yeah, and it, for some, like it just became glued to him and just like osmosis onto him, I guess.
I'm sorry, no, it's this. It's he's the Venom of Pokemon.
Mr. Mime is really a symbiote.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, what's the weirdest? So, there's not weird subgenres, but there's also stories about subgenres. You were saying, right?
Yeah, I think, the most interesting stories come from personal stories.
Yeah.
And I've had some strange interactions with different kinds of furries, I think, throughout
Mhm.
the years. And I
Yeah.
think everybody can agree with that. They always run into the occasional person that is just a little strange, no matter what way you put it.
What's the strangest? Because now I'm curious and like slightly aroused. Every time we're on this podcast, I just have like this huge little. That's actually
Welcome
me
to the
popping
fur
up.
fandom.
That's actually me cracking up open a cold one
With the
Not a
boys.
bonus. With a boy. So anyway, what's the weirdest?
I've seen anything from people who have fallen in love with their cars. And made them
we just talked about that in
anthropomorphized.
episode 2.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it just, I mean, I don't get it, but I don't bash it.
I don't get that at all.
There's
Like
the person who married the bench in a wall in a building.
what?
Oh, there was a person who married Twilight Sparkle for My Little Pony.
Oh yeah,
I
remember
heard
that.
about that. I don't think that's legal. I don't
It's
think that was
legal.
legal. It's legal.
It's
So-
legal, but technically he's not married to Princess Twilight Sparkle. He's married to the old Twilight Sparkle.
So in a
before
way,
she
they
was
got a
princess.
divorce.
So in a way, they're not married anymore.
Yeah.
But legally, he actually does own the right to be married to Twilight Sparkle.
Yep.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I know, and I've heard that he will actually defend it. Like, he, this particular person was defending that they were married to Twilight Sparkle
he would
and
get
that
angry.
nobody else had rights to make porn or any other story type.
I thought it was only. I don't think it's universal though when you're married to.
It actually
something.
is. It's universally recognized because it's a legal marriage.
Really? So does that mean that the creator also acknowledges it?
No, I don't think Lauren Faust.
It's
likes to
Faust,
ex-
isn't it?
No, it's Faust.
Is that how you say it? I thought it was Faust.
No, it's Faust.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
But I think that she likes to pretend that it's not there.
I wouldn't be
I mean-
surprised. I mean, if somebody said I'm married to Mickey Mouse and like walked up to Walt Disney, he'd be like, "Are you?" Never mind. That's for another podcast.
That's actually another subgenre, like the Disney characters: Goofy, Donald, Mickey.
Are they
so-
tamer? Like, there's like furries that are super tame when it comes to subgenres?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
no?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. There's a lot of people that consider themselves to be asexual or non-sexual at all, and they just use their characters as a form of expression.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they use like a Disney character or a My Little Pony character or whatever character they choose, they seem to make it into their own, as in like what Sai said about Arcanine and the Pokemon. And it seems like they like to differentiate themselves from like, okay, my Fursona might be an Eevee, but it's an Eevee with a hair bow that's pink and it's huge. Like,
Yeah,
and then
it's-
they give it their own like personality and backstory or whatever they choose, really.
Cool. So it's like one big giant RP.
Yeah,
really
actually,
is.
when you look at it that way, yeah, actually, I actually had an argument with a guy. It was completely irrelevant to what I was getting at. I was kind of explaining Sai's little backstory that I have for him,
Mhm.
and he randomly goes, "Well, my Fursona can be your Fursona because I'm a celestial being and stuff." And he was also a baby fur.
Then you know what you counteract with?
What?
My Fursona is Batman, and then it just like totally counter arguments
Yeah, there you go.
every conversation. Like, yeah, well, mine's Batman, and then he'd just be like, "Fuck, Batman can beat anybody." But again, can Batman be a furry?
I mean, man.
Like, is Batman a furry?
I've seen
I-
illustrations of Batman as a furry. I've seen him as a wolf. I've seen him as a lion.
But not as a bat.
man bat?
No, but I
Batman.
mean, not as a bat.
Not-
Surprisingly, never as a bat.
That's weird. I mean, man bat.
Man,
You
exactly.
are right. Yeah, man bat.
Man bat.
Man bat. Or is man spider?
I mean,
Like
that's the insectoids,
Spider-Man?
but yeah, that's a little subgenre that they have. It's insectoids, aquatic life.
Birds.
So
Birds.
okay, yeah. So furries aren't just they're again just different animals and
Not
everything.
just yeah, it's just like a mixed bag, really.
How do you develop your persona?
Well, I think that's a little different for everybody. Some people, might just be able to come up with it on the spot and decide that it fits them. And then some other people might view it as they want a separate character from themselves, if that's the way they want to express themselves. But I think a lot of it is, expressing yourself in as many different ways as you can. That's why I think like people have multiple personas
Mm-hmm.
Right.
that also go into subgenres. Like they might have a wolf, but then they might have a Pokemon or some other type.
I met a girl at my first year of a Motor City Fur Con. I met a girl who was she was some sort of like fox creature, but then
Mhm.
she was a jumping spider.
What? What?
Yeah, it was kind of cute in its own way, but it was more like
No, she would go squish under my boob like immediately.
it was like a
I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
it was a humanoid woman's body with the legit you ever seen Kitten's boyfriend from Teen Titans, that spider guy with the spider on his head? He legit has a spider for a face, and it has the back end of the spider and then the legs.
Yeah, I have to rewatch that episode, but yeah, I do remember that.
It was like that, where it was just literally a human woman body, and then just the spider was like on her head. Yeah,
Well,
adorable in its own way.
and there was no drugs involved with this.
There probably were slight drugs involved.
Slight drugs.
Only some.
Only some slight, maybe some heroin and maybe some PCP. Can confirm.
I mean,
Can you confirm?
with-
I know a whale.
What? Yeah, I actually know a couple of whales, sort of.
There's a couple of whales.
I mean, there's
Oh yeah,
multiple
definitely.
ones.
There's a lot of sea life actually, and a lot of birds.
A lot of birds.
A lot of birds.
Have people ever tried jumping off? I wonder if people have ever tried like jumping off of a building and thinking that they
Probably.
could fly.
Well, I know that at furry conventions they do have certain events that would be like, per se, if you're a husky, they have the husky truck pull where
Did
they
have
hook
those?
huskies
Yes,
up to the trucks.
I've
and they
seen
pull
that.
Them.
There was one that Kit was talking to me about too. It's that his Fursona is a scuba diver, and
Huh.
he does a dive through like one of the rivers at one of the conventions, and he'll swim through it, and you can watch him on camera. And I guess it's like a big event, but other people can like follow him in the river
Oh, that's cool.
with it. And I've seen a mermaid. I've seen a couple of mermaid ones too around.
Oh yeah, that's another huge subgenre, and I think it's more of like a cosplay type thing, bringing it into the furry world.
When you look at it that way, yeah. I mean, take a look at Beerus from Dragon Ball Z. I mean, we don't know what species he is, but damn, that's sexy.
He's a cat.
Motherfucker. He is a cat.
Yeah, he's based around Anubis. Or not Anubis,
Anubis Bast.
Bast, yeah.
Bast. Yeah. Which is actually kind of funny because if you actually look at closely, a lot of them are based off of different gods.
Kind of got that with
Except the clown. He's based off of it, clearly.
that's clearly it.
What is the weirdest I really do want to know what the weirdest subgenre is. Because I want to
Aliens?
make it... What?
Aliens.
No?
No, I don't really agree with
I
you.
think
I don't
vor
think
is
aliens
probably
are...
the weirdest thing that I've ever
Oh,
heard.
no.
Vor?
No, I could go deeper than that.
What? Besides eating
okay,
things?
So you're talking about Goro, which is eating one another and stuff like that.
I thought it
for
was
pleasure.
vor.
Vor is eating people whole
Yeah.
and
So-
being alive inside somebody,
Yeah.
inside their stomach or their throat. Or their
And
butt,
this has been
whichever one you
another
choose.
episode of...
See, this is the Fur Talk where we talk about the strange and disturbing and the cute and cuddly. Mainly strange and disturbing, apparently.
What's the cutest now? Well, actually, now I want to go deeper because now I'm just getting it. Never mind. That's another fact. I'm getting
the
a boner right
cutest?
now.
What's the cutest?
What's both? Because either way, I'm going to get incredibly turned on.
Well, I have to say that the cutest is baby furs, but I don't know. I'm a little biased.
I mean,
Aren't you you are a baby fur, right?
I am a baby fur.
I know this because I've seen the artwork.
Yep, and you know everybody's seen my bedroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have seen your bedroom.
I live with you.
So many bedrooms. I mean, so many things in the
I
bedroom.
actually have a question. How long have you been a baby fur?
I've been a baby fur since I was about 15, actually.
Hmm.
Yep, a friend was a really close friend. Just said one day that he had something to tell me, and he told me that he was ABDL, and I was like, well, that's a really interesting term. What does that mean? And if anybody doesn't know, that actually stands for Adult Baby Diaper Lover. And that's, you know, a whole different subgenre. But what I introduced him to was I was like, well, a fandom I'm in called the Furries has something like that, and it's called baby furs. So we kind of intermixed our genres and got into it with each other.
And then they found
Huh.
out that baby furs existed.
Weird.
Well, I knew baby furs existed.
I
I was the
didn't.
one who got him into it.
I didn't know that baby furs existed.
I
You
didn't
didn't?
know
Mm-mm.
insectoids existed, or baby furs, or anything.
Actually, there's an artist. Her name is White Mantis. Really great artist, by the way. She's actually an orchid mantis. There's one that's a poodle moth.
A poodle moth?
Mhm.
It's a moth and a poodle mix?
You
no,
never seen a
it's
poodle moth?
No.
It's
I-
like a
poodle
legit
moth is
Pokemon.
like- yeah, it looks like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the is that the what's that Pokemon's name? The fuzzy one. The fire
Venom
The
moth?
fire bug.
No.
No, the fire bug.
Volcarona?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Sort of. I
Or it
think
just looks like a Pokemon, like it doesn't
it looks like a Pokemon.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
if you were to look at it in real life, you'd be like, is this a Pokemon?
I mean-
Can I catch this?
Every time I try to use a bike indoors, some weird guy in a lab coat comes and starts yelling at me anyway. I mean, I guess we're in the Pokemon world. I'm not sure. Or he might just be mentally... There might
or,
be
you know,
something
you
wrong
get
with him.
those phone calls. My Raticate. My Rattata.
It's in the top 20%. or top 10%.
Yep,
Just-
exactly.
Just to let you know, my Raticate, or my Rattata, I am so alone.
So with cute subgenres,
I still think that the brave little toaster is probably the cutest thing of all.
you just think the brave little toaster is
I
just
think
life.
That
Brave little toaster is my life.
It is my life. My entire life. I have a little shrine in the back of my. Even though everybody on Comics Are Cool have seen my studio, like I don't show them like this one little corner, which is like all the brave little toaster.
All your like memorabilia. You got little statues and plushies.
Goddamn right. I don't even know how I got them actually. So, what's the cutest and what's the creepiest and craziest?
Creepiest that I've actually seen. Well,
See, I like how you said the creepiest first, and you could have said the cutest first.
Let's go for the negative first.
Yeah, all right.
negative. The creepiest that I've actually seen, which actually some of them actually do look pretty cool, is undead.
Cool. What?
Yeah.
Can you go
Yep.
deeper?
I have seen some undead, but I think that also goes along with a lot of gore. But I think that could also stand as cute because even though it is gory art, there is furries who make it look cute. As weird as that sounds.
No,
Absolutely.
I've seen comics too, like Zombie Tramp, and then there's Undead Girl, or Zombie. Oh shoot, I forgot the comic name. it's an Action Labs comic, but the Zombie Tramp is really well known, and it's legitimately about undead sexualized girls, and it's done very well, and it's adorable.
Right.
And that guy is the busiest motherfucker I've ever tried to get in contact with. Like,
I mean,
oh my freaking god!
I've seen a lot of, if you go to a Motor City Fur conventions, you'll find people with Fursonas that have like skull faces, and just like
Yeah,
they have
Oh,
their
yeah,
Fursonas that
definitely.
have. There's one that was an undead lab rat, and it was actually pretty
What?
creepy looking. Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, there was
So-
one that could actually take off her fursuit face, and it would be a skull underneath it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I
Yep, I've
love.
seen that.
I know when I went to my first furry convention was like the coolest thing because
Mhm.
people put so much detail in these costumes, and it's just like it's beyond cosplay
Yeah.
costumes. I think at
Oh,
some
yeah.
points in times, like there's that one girl who had like the squeaker in her mouth, and that was
Telephone.
really cool. Yeah,
She's
Telephone.
I
adorable.
met her. She was awesome.
Telephone is really nice.
And there was the big Beanie Baby girl, and then the fruit bat, which I thought was still the
The
coolest.
fruit
like,
bat was pretty sweet.
the fruit bat thing was just she was really sweet. But I probably will be at Motor City Fur Fest this
So
year
will I.
because I need to help out Dave, and I'll probably end up helping out Dave and Kit and Liz without them actually
Well-
saying anything. I'm just gonna intrude on them.
Well, I want to help out Dave, Kit, and Liz too, but I'm not popular enough.
Shush, you will get there or you won't get there. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
this is not up to popularity.
Yeah, it's not. My dick is not bigger than your dick.
You're twins.
Shut up.
Shut up.
But so the subgenres can either be cute and cuddly and then just plain weird. But undead is the weirdest that you've seen. But what have you seen? Because insectoid still blew my mind. But anyway, on.
I have to say that the weirdest that I've seen is like I kind of have to go with the undead thing too, and more of like the skeletal furries, the
Mhm.
ones that have their fursuits as skull masks, and
Or they're covered in blood, or like they have like missing eyes and stuff like that.
or they have no eyes at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's more creepy than anything.
Yeah.
So can it be like, let's say, I don't know, a really creepy pasta, like what's his name, the Pocket.
The Pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the Pocket's like a very underground creepypasta.
But
yeah.
I want to know is how do people develop their particular fursona with that? Like they look at a spider and it's like, I classify as a thing that eats bugs and is really terrifying looking.
Well, maybe they do eat bugs and they're really terrifying looking.
Well, if you go off of some people's stories, some people have really great stories for why they have creepy personas.
Like what?
One of the best I've heard was actually from Uncle Kage.
Oh.
And I
Okay.
went to one of his panels and I sat down. And as I was listening to him, he got into his details about how he made his cockroach persona.
I think I heard this story.
And he said that one
Wait,
day
he's a
cockroach.
he's a
wait.
cockroach.
Which convention is this?
He's at
That
Motor
was
City
Motor
FurCon,
City FurCon.
Anthrocon. He's at a
Yeah,
couple.
he does another. He's at another convention too.
He runs a
was-
convention, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I forgot what convention it was. But Kit and I were actually talking about that the other day when we went to the comic book store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the cockroach. But how did he develop it?
He developed it when I don't know exactly, how old he was or how far back in his life this was, but he basically, long story short, described it as he was sitting at his computer desk and a little cockroach crawled up and he looked at it and was thinking, I could swat this away, but I want to see what it does. So he watched it for a second, and the cockroach got up on two legs and hissed at him. And he said, wow, that is one ballsy cockroach.
I
And
like
that's
that.
why he decided to be a cockroach.
I like that.
Huh. I would have never put
I mean,
two to two together on that.
Technically, actually, my fursona is actually undead.
What?
Yeah.
Yours went from a cyborg to being a weird classy type thing to now undead.
Technically, he's undead.
Why?
So,
Hasn't he technically always been undead, though, because he used his powers to resurrect his sister?
and he basically died himself. In
Did
that
he say
process.
Edward?
No.
Afterwards?
Edward.
Edward, save me.
Save me? Did he say that?
So basically, going back to where she said
Can
it,
that be a furry?
the homunculus.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
I got a weird, creepy idea,
You're
but
not-
that's for another time.
You're
Go
not
on.
asking for porn of it.
Shush. Oh, there already
mean,
is. I've seen it.
With
Yeah,
her
go on.
saying like there's people can have multiple Fursonas, like I have two. I have male and female.
Right, you have
What-
Rita and then Sai.
Yes, side actually is more of my masculine side, and then Rita's more of my feminine side. Rita's actually more fully undead because she was actually resurrected, and she can detach her limbs, and each one of her limbs contains a certain weapon.
Ooh, gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Yep.
It's almost like you like totally went into that.
Well, I went deep into both my Fursonas. I just don't like to share it much.
Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about yours?
Mine doesn't have any deep backstory or anything. It's just
Adorable.
it's
It is
just
adorable.
adorable.
Like you. I get it. Aww.
Aw,
Yeah, isn't it
thank
cute?
you.
But it's wrong.
It's log.
It's log. Anyway, go on.
Oh, what do you want me to go on with? What
I
should we
don't
talk
know.
about next? We're still on subgenres.
Well, actually, we're going to take a small break right now, just so that way we can kind of develop and come up with a game strategy. But this is going incredibly well because I am learning way more than I really needed to about the subgenres.
And your brother.
And my brother, which, again, this is getting weird, but it got weird last time when we talked about fucking cars.
Yeah.
So, guys, we'll be back on Furtalk right after these messages. And we're back with Furtalk. If you can't understand, I'm actually Squid and he's Sai, and then this is, what did you want to go by? Tobo, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Tobo. And we are back, and thank you for that wonderful message that was kind of not that
What
great.
whatever is going to be on the message.
Yeah.
I don't know because the last two there wasn't any.
Well, shut up. I am so sorry that they just decided to say, or I actually forgot, so leave me alone.
So let's get into our subgenres.
Yeah, let's get
guys.
into it. Yes. So we're going to dive right into, well, Tobo wanted to talk about fetishes.
I
Actually,
think
we
this-
all wanted to because I already have like a huge boner anyway.
I think
so
this
we
is
might
gonna-
as well just finish it off.
Prepare to get uncomfortable.
Yes. So what are the fetishes of these types of subgenres?
Oh god.
Well, if you go into baby furs, it's obviously diapers. If you go into like rubber and latex, it's wearing rubber and latex suits. If you go into vor, it's about getting eaten whole.
Which I don't want to know why people would want to do that.
So, okay, so how does that work? No, really.
There's a sex toy for that.
Where it eats you?
Where it
They
eats you?
wear- yeah, it goes over your head, believe it or not, and it is supposed to stimulate a throat.
Oh.
And you put it over your head, and it like pretty much suffocates you. But I guess that's the point. And
oh.
it plugs into the wall and makes these movements of being swallowed.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, it's
I-
out there.
I have to think
What?
about one of probably my most
My
uncomfortable
mind.
fetish.
I'm sorry, but my mind just melted. Like I cannot process that at all. But what is your uncomfortable fetish?
I think the
now?
one uncomfortable fetish that I've actually heard of, it's a device that it's a bed sheet that goes over the entire bed and it has a very, very little pin-sized hole that a person can breathe out through. And they
I've
just,
seen that.
it's basically a form of like it's more like restraining and like people who have like suffocation fetishes and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
That's
don't-
weird.
I don't know if
That's
it's
a
still
big
being
thing.
sold.
Is
but-
that in like the furry community or is it just
Any.
in like any community?
In general.
I think it could be considered any community, but it's a big furry subgenre or fetish, as you would call it, could be BDSM,
Right.
definitely.
Yeah.
And all forms that go into that. And I think that's a lot of where the suffocation and restraint.
Mm-hmm.
But would it all be professional considered, or is it just like amateur stuff? Because that's what weirds me out when it comes to. Because let's be honest, everybody hooks up at a hotel
That is true.
and a
Mhm.
furry
yes.
convention.
Well,
Anime
oh, yeah.
conventions, they do that. Comic book conventions, it
Yeah,
does
but
it.
at FurCons it's more common because it's like I mean, I'm just gonna throw this right out there and be completely blunt about this. It's thrown out there freely. It's like, yeah, I just slept with this person. Yeah, I just slept with this person. Well, that's fantastic.
But they really didn't sleep with that person because they actually live in their mom's basement and they're gross and they don't bathe. Anyway.
oh,
Yeah, they just
That
say
is, that
they
is
did.
some people. We have a rule
I-
for that.
I
Do
think-
you?
We do. It's called the 6-2-1 rule.
Huh?
6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, and 1
Oh,
shower.
right. Okay. Yeah.
That's at a convention though, right?
That's
Yep, that's at
generally
a
any
convention.
Well, yeah, I mean, all of us live by that. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Oh, you would be surprised.
Really?
Oh, yes. I have known furries that have went to conventions without sleeping.
Yep.
I know people who have went to conventions without eating. There has been many times where people have passed out, whether in suit or not in suit, because they have just generally not taken care of themselves, and now they've landed themselves unconscious in the middle of the lobby.
That is weird. What conventions is this?
Any?
It can happen at a lot of conventions. It actually happens a lot more than you would think. People just don't stay hydrated. And people have been known to get cut out of their $1,000 suits because the EMS has to get them out.
Actually, when
And then their head doesn't come off, I take it.
Oh, their head comes off, but their body and their paws and about their tail and everything else is now destroyed because EMS has cut it off with shears.
well, hold on a
Right.
minute.
And of course, the EMS is not reliable for that anyway. So,
oh, no, not of course not. They have to do what they have to do their job.
Exactly.
Well, that actually happened at mine and Draven's first year at Midwest
West
Fur
Furfest.
Fest, where that chlorine quote unquote bomb happened and everything.
I
where-
heard about that. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of fursuiters actually passed out, and EMS had to rush in, and people were cutting fursuiters out of their suits and carrying them out of the building and stuff like that because they were passing out.
Well, yeah, and at that point in time, I don't really think you could be angry about that kind of thing.
Well, no, you
know.
just got your life saved. I mean, it's either that or die in your fursuit. So,
Well, I mean, some
you
people
know.
might find that a fetish. I mean, I was getting really turned on while I was dead in my fursuit.
I'm pretty sure there's a Black Mirror episode like that.
Probably.
Probably. There's a Black Mirror episode of everything, let's be
I
honest.
honestly
Oh,
I have
yeah.
to think probably the most uncomfortable kink fetish that I have to think of is probably water sports and feces. Just pooping yourself or just in general. Namely baby furs, to me.
I can tell you a whole lot about pooping.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. But that, I'm sorry. That's where I kind of draw the line when it comes to, baby furs. You are a... No offense, Tobo. No offense, but you are
stepping. We are both giving you the eye because you are stepping in some hot water,
You are getting into some hot water.
and then you find out I'm a baby for it all just drops down all the walls fall.
I'm
That little
sorry.
shrine.
This is Furtalk where we talk about these things. But I'm just saying that, you're a grown man. If you ask me to change your diaper and you pooped yourself, I'm going to look at you and be like, why?
Does that happen?
That happens.
I
Yeah.
assume that happens also with a lot of other fetishes too. So essentially, most fetishes are literally just regular fetishes, but in a fursuit.
Yeah.
Essentially. I mean, some people don't have fursuits, but I think there's a lot of way to incorporate furry into it. There's puppy play, kitten play, bunny play.
What?
You've never heard of that? It's
No.
it's a subgenre of BDSM that is a form where you want to take on a more animalistic persona, whereas a puppy or a cat or a dog, and you might just wear a set of ears and tail, and that makes you feel great.
I think it was the
Huh.
My Strange Addiction episode where it was a guy who it was a girl who had a human dog.
I saw that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
weird. And Preacher did a weird thing on that too, and it turned out he was God. But anyway,
personally, I
moving
think
on.
that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
Not gonna
puppy
lie,
play?
yeah, I kind of like that. I think
I
it's
think-
kind of a neat thing because I mean, it's you have a friend who's a human but dressed as a dog. and
I think
acts like
that's
a dog.
hilarious.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it would be hysterical if it's let's go to the dog park, and there's just this guy running around like a
Four
bunch of.
legs.
Does he run on four legs?
That all
do.
depends on the people. Most people, they do, but they take precautions, as in wearing padded mittens or wearing knee pads or feet pads or something to protect your skin so you're not rubbing against raw carpet or cement.
Right. I mean that makes
It's
sense.
It's a good way to get away with technical bestiality. I
For
mean, not technical, but I mean,
For some
Not
ungodly,
technical.
for some ungodly reason, I could just see this guy, or this girl at a dog park with just surrounded by a bunch of dogs, and she just throws a ball, and then out of nowhere, this huge muscular guy just wearing this Dalmatian costume just comes charging out after this ball. You see her bark, bark, bark. Roar, roar, roar. And then you see this guy, and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? Or a guy up in a tree has a squirrel, and he's just and it's just come here, and she's feeding the squirrels, or even a lady throwing breadcrumbs at a bunch of pigeons, and then this guy just
a
runs
guy
into
flies
pigeons.
down in a pigeon suit.
Yeah, just
what is wrong with the world?
God damn, the world is weird, and
But
I love
in all
it.
honesty, I have no problem with baby furs, just with pooping yourself, I find that kind of gross. Just
Well, I
because
think everybody
I'm
draws the line
squeamish
somewhere.
against that kind of stuff. So I mean,
I think
you
most
know.
people should like draw the line at poop because I mean, pee is just like water. You can just like brush it off with a little bit of soap. But poop, the smell like lingers after a while.
Not only
Pee
that,
really
but
doesn't.
disease, infections. You know.
Actually, poop is incredible. Anyway, we're not getting into the mouth.
We're not talking about poop.
We're not talking about.
So how long
what
have you
is
been
your
eating poop?
most uncomfortable fetish that you have actually witnessed?
Witnessed in real life
Yeah, as a furry or just
or as a dominatrix.
Whatever.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Morty. Oh, jeez.
Oh god. Oh jeez, Morty. Morty.
Morty. But I have to say the most uncomfortable was I had a gentleman approach me on the internet about wanting to eat my toenails.
Oh, yeah,
off
you
of
told me
my
about
I
feet.
remember
this.
that, but that wasn't a furry.
That was not a furry. That was just a guy that was into feet. But
The sad thing is, I really wanted to sell him my toenails because I worked at
Dude, if you would have split the money with me, I would have just put all my toenails
Well,
in like
I'm
a
sorry,
jar.
but
I
mine
can
were
get
like
a hold of him again.
mine were like the god toenails to him because they were like I worked at a U-Haul and I was a detailer and I would in boots for 8 hours a day, so they were covered in grime and all this stuff. So I mean, mine were like the god feet to him.
That makes me want to throw up just thinking about it.
Yep, thanks. But what about furry? Like, what's the weirdest one you've ever?
Furry wise, I haven't really ever been approached with maybe things that I just don't see weird anymore because I'm desensitized to it.
Mhm.
But definitely having people come up to me that want me to change their diapers that have shit their pants.
And you've done
Sad.
that before?
I have never done that. I refuse to do that. I'm
Have
not
you
wiping
ever pooped
someone's
your
butt.
pants before?
She
Have I
does
ever?
not.
No.
No, okay.
No, that is not
That was
my
like the
fetish.
first thing, but I was just like, you know what? We've already
See-
talked about
see-
eating people, and I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna
When-
ask now.
When she came to me when we had a relationship going on for a little bit.
Yeah.
And when she told me that she was a baby fur, I told her one thing: I will change your pee diaper, but if you shit yourself, we're done.
I will.
That
I
is
will
all
make
on
you
you.
sit in your shit, and then you will have to run after people to get them to change it.
Change
Ooh,
me,
that's
daddy.
My fetish.
No, that's what-
Change me, daddy. Go fuck yourself.
It's like my fetish is really oddly specific. I want you to tell me that I want to be dressed as a dog, and then I'm gonna poop myself, and you're gonna tell me I'm not gonna change you, and you should go to Meijer to run around and ask people to change your diaper, and that is my fetish. Well, that's weirdly specific.
I have heard some people say that before, believe it or not.
Oh, huh.
You would be surprised how big humiliation is in the baby fur
Yeah,
fandom.
9 times out of 10, that was probably me saying it.
it was, yes.
That was Squid. You said it. Oh, well, all
He-
right then.
Humiliation is an interesting thing in general fetish kink thing because
I don't get where you go from there at that point. You already soiled your. I think we've talked way long enough on potty training.
have.
You too. I just want to know after you pee and damage your fursuit, like with especially like blood play or anything like that.
oh,
God, that has to be expensive to get out.
Oh, yeah. Well, they actually, I don't know her specific Twitter name, but I would give her a shout out. But she does fursuit shampoos.
Oh,
And they are made specifically for fake fur. And they have different scents, and they're all fursuit themed. Like one might be like strawberry with like a strawberry wolf on it, or one might be like, some kind of. Where am I going with this?
I don't know.
I don't know
shampoos for
either.
fursuits. But I think would be really cool. Rent out a hotel room and give fursuiters a bubble bath in their fursuit with that kind of shampoo and stuff like that. That would actually be a really cool thing. It would be like a dog grooming salon.
That'd be so weird.
The furry grooming salon.
that
Some people
just-
probably need it.
That just opens up like an entirely new subgenre at that point, like bathing, fursuit bathing,
Or just bathing in general.
Yeah, well, some people need to do more.
And and actually for a bonus, if you actually take off your fursuit, I'll actually throw in a little Dove soap for you to wash yourself, and you could charge like $5 for this. Holy crap! We just started a business.
Yeah, I have an idea.
Copyright Furtalk, copyright Slackjaws are punks. All terms and conditions are all held by Slackjaw punks and Furtalk.
That was
Thank
pretty
you
good.
for that.
Thank you. So you can't steal it, goddammit. But guys, we will sign that contract and we will make this a business and we will make millions. We'll only make like $20. But So does anybody else have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Great,
Well-
as you just vape because we get it.
As I vape like a tool.
Well,
As
I'm
you
just
do, you
gonna-
fucking tool.
Well, I'm just gonna say this that me and Tobo and Squid will most likely be at Motor City FurCon, so you can catch us there.
Probably. It just depends on my actual schedule because I may or may not be at C2E2. I might be in Chicago. I don't really know
Okay.
at all. But if I am there, please come and say hi to all of us. We won't have a table, and we'll literally just be walking around because we don't
I'll
have a
most
table.
likely be wearing my fursuit, Sai, who's actually
I'll bring
creepy.
my bat. I got the little bat thing.
the Bat Kigu.
Yeah, I have the little bat thing still because I didn't throw that away.
I have a fennec kigu and a wolf kigu.
You
Yeah.
don't have a fursuit, though, do you?
I don't have a fursuit.
Why not?
I don't, mostly because of the cost, because it's a few $1,000s for a nice one. And
Now,
on top
excuse
of
me.
that, I just can't decide who I want to be made by.
Now hold on
That's
a minute.
fair.
I spent $300 on mine.
You
They're not
did,
that
and you have a
pricey.
great fursuit, but I don't.
But I
I
just
don't
wanted to
know.
let you know that
There's
my
the thing
best
is-
friend actually made my fursuit. Her name is Nora. Great artist, a great fursuit
Yeah,
maker.
but there is another thing too, though, and again, it's not even about the amount of money you spent, and it's great. Like it looks great too. It's
Right.
weird, but it's the fact is that if you're gonna get a fursuit, you might as well just go like all out. Like you might as well
Exactly.
pay the $1,000, even if you have to put it on a credit card and like pay it off. You might as well just do it.
Right.
Because in the end, it's gonna pay off because it's a hobby that you've done. Like,
And
oh,
it's the
this
thing that
crap.
you like to do.
Exactly. Like, why not just go all out of it and just treat yourself at that one point for that one hobby? I mean, Kit, he builds Gundam models now
Neat.
as a hobby. And when I mean like a hobby, I mean now it's an addiction where he just will not leave the house and just continues building them. He won't stop. Kit, please get help. Anyway.
Like Korean trading Pokemon today.
Shh. The addictions of Wonder Trade, I found out.
It is very addicting. I keep getting a million Rattata.
I got mostly Grubbin. I got a rock.
Yeah, I got a rock.
I would name each grub an I and then fuck. Or I would name one like I want to, and then it would just be like a sentence of something, and then I would just hope and pray that one person gets all of them. in a row. Like it's just like, oh my god, it's a sign.
It's just I'm watching you.
Or even like jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Like that is the thing. So guys, it's been awesome. Corey, do the closing because I don't want to.
So guys, it has actually been amazing talking.
Sorry, I
with
said your real name. Sai. It doesn't
you.
fucking
You
matter.
they know who I am.
I know.
think.
Yeah.
Not that they care, but guys, it has
cares
been
about
wonderful
me?
on this episode of episode 3.
It sucks to be
Look,
me.
you gonna shut up now?
Sorry.
So, with episode 3, I think this has gone great, and I'm actually very excited to actually have my co-host on this for another episode.
Yeah, are you officially joining?
I'm officially joining.
Her-
This has been like
Hooray!
a debate for like the past couple of months if she's gonna be on this or not, and I finally dragged her ass over here.
Oh, thank God. Can I put this gun down?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Thank God.
Okay, Sai, take us out.
All right, guys, we will see you.
Oh,
All right, guys, we will see you next month. I am Sai.
Next month.
We'll record another episode next month. And
No.
No?
In
Oh.
like 2 weeks.
All right, then I will see you guys again in 2 weeks when the next episode.
Then we release it next. Never mind.
You know what? Just we will see you when when we record the episode and it gets up. All right.
Way better.
All right.
good ending.
This is Squid. This is Tobo, and this has been Furtalk signing off.
Can we still just real quick talk about that there is a
No!
tra-
No, the episode's over.
Okay.